I bet. So the Cowboys just put hands and feet up.
Did you hear what I said?
All right, bro. This is what we're gonna do, bro. One of my quotes that I'm just gonna be recurring over the next few episodes of you seeing me do anything is I was most impressed that the Cowboys were fantastic and that Pat Mahomes was also incredible. Okay, so I just want to go through a few things. I want to talk about how the Cowboys got pressure on Pat. And, you can see Pat kind of respond to that pressure, like him being great versus it or him kind of getting sacked or brought down or whatever, right? But just the idea of, hey, you threw your best punch at one of the best quarterbacks in the league, doing best quarterback in the league type stuff, and you still beat him. Let's run it for the cardio, man. Let's just run it here. We got a four-man front here. Something simple. You got Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams up front. Bleep, that's James Houston, whoever this is on the right side. Let's see what the business is. Let's just run this play forward, and then we'll come back and talk about it. How the Cowboys took advantage of pressure on this Chiefs offensive line. Now, we talked about Flus and is it in his philosophy to quarterback spy. There were a few times we saw this. Kenny Murray is the quarterback spy. All right, cool, bet. We have that information. Now, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes it's not always a 5-man front to generate one-on-ones. We've talked about this in previous weeks. I told you this was going to be on the test, right? It ain't always got to be a 5-man front. Sometimes it's just bringing 5 people. Okay. So what's interesting is what the Chiefs did to kind of deal with that is the Chiefs would chip a guy here and the Chiefs will chip with a guy there. So that way, boom, you get a demo pick and you get one on James Houston as well. Now, those guys are still kind of going to be in the route combination, right? You see Kelsey kind of leak up early and you see 29 here leak out late. So what the Chiefs tried to do was they tried to help with the pass rush, and that lets you know that the Cowboys pass rush is actually on its way up there. They helped with the pass rush, but they wanted to keep as many passing options as possible because we know that Pat Mahomes likes to prolong the plays or whatnot, right? But one thing that really got us going right here is Donovan Ezraku winning early right here. Boom. And that's going to swing Pat out of the pocket. That's fine. What we have here is we have a large effort from Kenny Clark, and we got a spy guy in Kenneth Murray. So we got Kenny and Kenny doing their thing here. James Houston going to be chased from the backside. Pat tried to get something off a little bit. Hey, man, that ain't smart. And when you have him cornered in this way here, he eventually decides to get rid of the football. But boy, ladies and gentlemen, y'all almost got him. Let's keep watching some more, man. Just another example, man. We got a 4-man rush here, and there were some people that was asking, well, Voch, are we quarterback spying? Yes, Demo was the quarterback spy here, but just as much as I'm giving Cowboys credit for playing well, I just wanted to continue to give Pat Mahomes credit for being fantastic because you got to find a way to deal with those kind of guys, right? You see Demo sneaking. What I want Demo to do while he's sneaking is I want him to sneak a little bit further back, not right up on Creed Humphrey, and just to be patient and trust his speed. What happened with Demo spying is that he played the side-to-side game, or Pat played the side-to-side game with him, and Demo kind of got himself blocked and out of position. Demo is fast enough to just read and react to Pat regular. Demo doesn't have to, before Pat runs, he doesn't have to dedicate himself to a side. Let's talk about the pass rush a little bit right here. A lot more James Houston. I was really excited about that. Quinnen Williams here. You got Kenny Clark there. And you have Donovan Ezraku here. Just a simple little rush. We're bringing 4, and Creed's kind of responsible for Demo here. I want the Cowboys to continue to kind of hold on to this look here, right? Because you got Demo close to the line of scrimmage. He's kind of taking Creed Humphrey out of the fight, but he's not engaging with him. Like, he's not blocking himself. So that way he's continuing to be a quarterback spy guy, but he's taking Creed Humphrey away from us. I want to see Flu still kind of play around with this, but maybe step Demo back a little bit so he's not caught up in this situation. But that's just Pat Mahomes being fantastic. There's nothing else we could do about this. But boy, ladies and gentlemen, a hell of a rush. Let's just go down everybody's rush. We got James Houston's rush. Boom, more help from the running back there, bending on the tackle, forcing Pat to step up. We got Quinnen Williams right here, rushing versus the guard. Are you serious? That's going to eventually step Mahomes up right there. Kenny Clark versus the right guard. Dog, whenever you do stuff like this, it is easy. The only thing that we should have had was Demo being a little bit more patient right here. Fantastic work from Flus. He got the guys to execute it. We just needed one more point of execution from Demo right there. But yeah, we also got the rush from Donovan Ezraku. Didn't quite get there, but at least what would have happened is if Pat would have scrambled in his direction, then Donovan Ezraku would have been fine. He got hemmed up, but everybody else got big pressure on Pat. But Pat was just simply being fantastic. Let's keep watching. Kind of happy Fluke's getting in his baggy waggy again. Okay, so we're gonna get a rush from Donovan Ezaraku, Osa, Quinnen Williams, and we got that's probably Clowney over there. But we're also gonna get a blitz from Logan Wilson right here. So the same kind of concept, right? 4 down linemen. We're gonna blitz one guy, create a 5-on-5, and see where we at with it. But the Chiefs decided. And this counted as a pressure for Logan Wilson. They let him run free. But this is supposed to be a screen to Travis Kelce right here, right? But ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to pay attention to Donovan Ezaraku. Let's bring it back from the beginning. Let's pay attention to Donovan Ezaraku, what he's bringing to the party, and just the awareness from the young player right here. Boom, boom, boom. And Kelce's gonna turn and show his numbers to Pat right here, right? At this point, boom, show my numbers to Pat. Ball's coming out quick. But man, Donovan Ezaraku is not being fooled. He's not running upfield just out of the play. He's gonna retrace footsteps and go chase down Kelce and make the tackle on the screen, bro. Shouts out to Donovan Ezaraku for being a guy. And look, this had to happen because you got a little bit of blitz work from Logan Wilson. It happened quicker than we expected, and they kind of let Logan Wilson get upfield. But the pressure plus Donovan Ezaraku being smart on a check the down distance up top left here on a 1st and 20, it works out for everybody. I don't think it's a coincidence that most of the pressure plays came from Quinnen Williams and Donovan Ezaraku being on the field. It don't even matter. Let's run it forward, man, and talk about it. This was a big effort play from Jadeveon Clowney, which is your left defensive end right here, right? Boom, he's going to line up versus the right tackle and get a damn good delayed move on him. Boom, with a little bit of a cloth pull there. Offensive line on the ground, looking like a fool with your offensive line on the ground there. Osa's going to get in the dirt as well. That's terrible. But, boy, what we saw is that Quinnen Williams, despite having 2 blockers on him, he's going to get free in the open space. He's going to check. Look at the motor on Quinnen Williams as Pat Mahomes is running this thing down. Now, is this the one time where Jerry Jones felt like it was the advantage to have the sun in Pat Mahomes' face? I don't know. I'd rather just not have the sun in our face. But, boy, Quinnen Williams giving chase, drawing Pat Mahomes back to the inside here. Pat maybe don't even see Clowney coming right at him. Now, boom, Williams going to work upfield. Quinnen said he could have had about 5 sacks yesterday. I agree. This could have been one of them. But Pat's going to step right up into Clowney, and Clowney's going to finish. I don't quite think it's a coincidence that all your best pressures came from when Quinnen Williams and Donovan Ezaraku was on the field. Let's run it for the cardio, man. We also got Osa and Clowney out there. Whatever. We're gonna do a little 4-man rush. Ain't no problem with that. But just look simple. I don't recommend young D linemen run down the middle of people. But dog, if you Quinnen Williams, you can do what you want, bro. Step him back. Osa walk back 2 people. Jadeveon Clowney and Donovan Ezaraku collapsed their pocket as well. Right before Pat threw the ball, man, he only got this much room to kind of step up and move into it. And it kind of is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, this whole episode is about how the Cowboys were able to get pressure, Pat being incredible, but then us surviving regardless. Pat still got to navigate and all arm, can't even step into this. All arm kind of make that throw. But if Pat could have stepped into it, the throw probably would have been a little more accurate. The fact that it was guys in his face and that Pat couldn't step and follow through, the pass was inaccurate, and it probably could have been a DeRon Bland pick 6, but we'll see. There was a couple times we saw this. We saw this gap exchange with Quinnen Williams to get Quinnen on the tackle and the edge guy working on the inside there. A couple times we saw it. And, boy, look, James Houston is fantastic as an anchor dude, coming in, splitting, boom, thumping a little bit and letting Quinnen Williams run free there. And we got another example of Quinnen Williams trying to pursue that play there. Could this have been another sack from Quinnen Williams? Yeah, it probably could have been. But, man, just big effort here from Fowler, big effort here from Kenny Clark, and then you got Demo coming downhill, man. This is like a totally different defense, bro. This is like a totally different defense. And mind you, the context is 3rd and 16. But boy, we ended up getting a sack from Dante Fowler right here. I think this kind of speaks to Shotty a little bit, man. These dudes didn't quit at all. They kept playing hard, and it definitely benefited you. And we got another one this time, right? Donovan Ezaraku working the inside. Quinnen Williams going to work outside to deal with the tackle and all that. And look, man, Quinnen Williams versus anybody is a positive win for us. Bring it back a little bit. James Houston working upfield to kind of stump Pat a little bit now. And that's kind of what you got to do with a lot of these rushers, man, or a lot of these runners, is that, yeah, Pat Mahomes can step up. He'll step up into Donovan Ezaraku. He can't go backwards. But if he tried to roll out, then you got James Houston kind of doing this thing. You want Pat stepping up in the pocket. Now, Pat could have got busy right there and did something to us, but it didn't work out that way. His eyes were downfield, but that's what pass rush does, and that's what it brings to the party, man. I'm especially excited about my Cowboys defense, man. They're constantly putting hands on people. I'm grateful for it, and I think the Cowboys, if it's two things that do well in the playoffs that they say travel, is run game and his defense. And boy, the Cowboys, for the first time in a long time, they have both those things with your quarterback playing fantastic football and 2 wide receiver ones. All right, I appreciate y'all, man. I'll tap in with you next time. Quick little film, and I'm gonna go enjoy my family, and I'll catch up with y'all Monday. Y'all hold it down. Peace.